Let's bring in Bella Debrera now for the Institute of Public Affairs. Bella, I didn't bring you on to talk about the ABC, but that diversity push from them is rather hilarious and hypocritical, isn't it?
Oh, look, I mean, it's the least diverse lineup you can possibly imagine. And these are the same people, this is the same sort of liberal elite who live in the least diverse areas of Melbourne and Sydney. You know, they're all talk, but when it comes to true diversity, they really are not very engaged in it as a principle, are they? And again, it's all about diversity of what they look like, but not very much diversity of opinion in the ABC. But yes, you brought me on to talk about the universities.
Yes. I wanted
which is where it all comes from.
Yeah, well, I suppose, yeah, most of those blokes went to Sydney University. That's where they got their diversity and learnt to apply for a diversity of government grants and ABC projects. The ANU now saying that the term mother and father are apparently not inclusive enough. You have to scrap them.
Oh, look. This is the kind of lunacy that, unfortunately, with people outside academia are expecting to come, you know, from inside academia. It's getting very repetitive now. This is something that, you know, this is a manual which is ostensibly talking about how to create a gender-inclusive environment in university. It sounds harmless enough, but what it really is just radical gender. Sorry, it's radical gender theory. It's identity politics, and it's this policing of language that the left just loves so much. So. It's creating, these academics are creating a world of confusion for taxpayers with their money. So, you know, I was looking at the words that they are trying to ban. So as you say, mother and father. So now do we say something like, you know, happy gestational parent day for Mother's Day and happy non-birthing day for Father's Day? Like, it's totally insane. And it's causing much more mayhem than is needed.
It is completely insane, and most mainstream people would see it as insane. But what you talked about with thought and the aims of this, the radical theory behind this, I mean, you only have to go back to, of course, the tried and tested George Orwell essay, Politics and the English Language. But you control language because you want to control the way people think. So if you keep teaching this sort of rubbish and imposing these rules at university, you will actually change the way some of these graduates think.
You will, and my other objection to this is, you know, it's under this sort of this banner of inclusivity and equality and trying to keep everyone happy and not offend anyone. But by policing language and by worrying people about using things like mother and father and parent and, you know, parent milk. You know, what is parent milk? Is this milk for parents, or is this a brand of milk that you can now buy in the supermarket? It creates this confusion, and as you say, it controls how people start to think. So in the end, the words like mother and father will go out of fashion, and they're actually, by controlling the language, they're saying essentially the concept of a mother doesn't exist and the concept of a father doesn't exist. So it's really dangerous. And it's
breastfeeding should be referred to as chest feeding. What?
Chest
because
feeding.
Of the inference that there might be someone who's a non-female but is able to breastfeed.
Yeah, which we all know is biologically impossible. But again, you know, biological sex is no longer exists in radical gender theory. This is something, you know, this is pretty much a sin to suggest that there's a biological difference between men and women. So therefore, you can't say breastfeeding. You have to say chest feeding. And it's, you know, this is not the first time a university has tried to police language. A couple of years ago at the University of Sydney, students were being marked down for using mother and father. So this is nothing new. And actually, if you look in the policies, ANU policies, it's already written in, you know, words that you can't use, and you can't refer to guys, and, you know, you can't make people feel excluded because of the certain language. So this is not new, and it's not surprising that it's coming out of ANU, but it's disappointing because, you know, it's meant to be one of our top universities.
But the idea of pushing this as diversity, it's almost anti-diversity. I mean, difference is what makes us great. Difference is what attracts us to each other and tests us. And the idea that you can't be male or female or mother and father tries to make everything amorphous.
Well, this is the problem with identity politics, and this is the problem with the current obsession of our humanities departments and our universities with identity politics. I just looked at over 1,000 humanities subjects taught across the top 10 universities in Australia, ANU included. And the top three themes that they're obsessed with are identity politics, critical race theory, and gender. So that really says it all, and that's why the university is producing this kind of document, because that's its entire worldview now.
Well, thanks for joining us again, Bella. You're one of the most intelligent and articulate and non-gendered persons that we have on the program. Talk to you next time.
Thank you very much.